Wherever you are and however you may be listening, thank you and welcome. This is the EDH Outlaws podcast, and I'm Ricky. Today we're going to do a buy list breakdown. A buy list breakdown is a time for us to tell you what we saw in the market. Today we got a quick episode for you. We are a commander based play group, so we'll be touching on the commander cards you should dump as soon as possible.
With Commander Legends and even Double Masters, we saw some very expensive staples drop in price. So I'm making some predictions for the next year or two.
So we're going to start today. Basically, what I did was recently I input the vast majority of my collection onto my favorite website, mtgstocks.com, and in doing so was able to evaluate my collection and pick out a bunch of cards that I felt were valued way higher than where they should be. Uh, the process that I took to make this determination, we're going to call it the EDH algorithm. The first card I want to talk about on this list today is Hellkite Tyrant. So, Hellkite Tyrant was originally released in Gatecrash and then reprinted one time in Commander 16. Hellkite Tyrant as a card is a 6 drop, 4+2 red dragon. He's a 6/5 with flying and trample. When Hellkite Tyrant deals combat damage to a player, gain control of all artifacts that player controls. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 20 or more artifacts, you win the game. Now, this may seem like an alternative win con that is what is driving the price of Hellkite Tyrant up, but it is our belief that this card has just run its course and everybody's reaching and grabbing at this point in the market. And that is a number that we will see go down. If we look at the market, even after its reprint in 2016, the average price was only about $3 to $4. It only recently started to go up. Well, I guess I can't say recently, but the point is, this card is not a $15 card. This is a $3 to $4 card. So, in part of my evaluation of this card, I pulled up the buy list on TcgPlayer.com because normally I would look to GPs to dump the cards, but in the COVID era, unfortunately, the GPs are just not an option. So the next best option is, to me, TcgPlayer. So I checked it out, and the market price, according to TcgPlayer, of Hellkite Tyrant is $12.34. The trade-in value for a near mint Gatecrash printing as of about a week ago when I did all this um, was $9.75. So, I mean, if you look at that from a percentage factor, they're offering 79% of market value for this card. Um, I would say that that is a very good number. It's actually uh, Hellkite Tyrant and Kakusho are tied at the top of this list for at both at 79% of market value. Now, if you're looking at these cards saying, but I play them, by all means, hang on to them. I'm not saying you have to, but I am saying if you happen to have one, two, or even a play set of these sitting around in a binder or a box in your closet, you might be sitting on some money that you could potentially use to help out your collection. Cards like this that have already been printed once in Commander have a high potential to be reprinted again, either for a Commander deck or as Wizard starts to dip deeper into the Commander format. It might even come out in a Commander Legends 2 or something like that. I'm not saying it will. All I'm saying is if you're not using this card, it's not one of your pet babies, might want to look into trading it in. Now, before we go any further down this list, I do want to say this list originally started with about 70 cards that I'd pulled out of my collection. When I went through a few, I took out because the trade-in value wasn't enough for me to feel comfortable trading in at this point. But a majority of the cards that I pulled out were not near mint. I am not a grading expert. I can guess at what's light play, mod play, heavy play. I know what damaged is. But what I do know about grading is I know it's considered near mint. Okay. So as I went through these, I made sure to pull off the mintiest cards that I had. The only time I dipped below into the light play or moderate play was very special circumstances, and we'll get to those in a minute. So, Hellkite Tyrant number one, tied also for number one is Kakusho, the Evening Star from Iconics Masters. This one, at the time that I did this, was market price $14.80. The trade in value was $11.72, which is a 79% offer towards the market price. This particular card I pulled out of a pack, so a while ago. It's been sitting in a box, never once been put in a deck. Number three on my list is Thada Adele Exquisitor from World Wake. This is a really good one because I'm pretty sure that's the only printing it had. Um, this one, the market value was $9.67. The trade in I got out of it was $7.63. That's 78.9%. It's almost 79. In the math world, we would round that up to 79%, and we would call it a three-way tie. But I'm going to keep it simple and not do that. So that was number three. Now, the interesting part about Thada was I didn't buy her that long ago. I only bought her maybe 3, 4 months ago during the COVID time period. And I bought her for $3.17. She's already tripled in price. That to me is scary. It's not going to keep going up, 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 and up. At some point, that number will come down. And if she's never been reprinted, the moment she does get reprinted, that price is going to come crashing down below the $3 that I invested into the card. So 78.9%, we're going to get rid of that thing. Now, just to touch back and remind you, all of these numbers I'm giving you have been verified. I've gotten my credit. The currently at the recording of this, I got about 1 day left for the payment to transfer into my account. So I'm not just throwing you guys the numbers that the buy list said. I'm throwing you the numbers that the buy list actually gave me. So number four, we're going to go to vidalkinorari. Um, this is a conspiracy printing. This one, the market value was $27.68, and the trade-in that they gave me was $21.57. That is amazing. That's a 77.9% return, or sorry, 77.9% offer, and on a dollar value that high, that's a really, really, really good number. Vidalkinorari, if you're not familiar, it's an artifact that allows you to cast non-land spells as though they had flash, but it does not have flash. It's very good in Commander. It's a very popular card. I've owned a couple of these cards. But again, it's one that currently in the deck builds I haven't used for well over a year. So why not use it to not line my pockets for play money, but for money that I can use to purchase new cards as I want them. So that's number four. Number five and six are tied, but I'm gonna go in the order I chose here. So number five, I have Lighthouse Chronologist from the printing of Rise of the Eldrazi. This is another one. Great card. You know, it's got the level up on it. Really interactive. It's fun. It allows you to take extra turns at the end of it. But I don't believe it's a $13 card right now. And when they're trading in at 74%, so the market value 1307, trade in value $9.76. Amazing. Another 74% are there. Uh, the next one, and this is one that my buddies were actually surprised they got rid of, was Exquisite Blood coming in at number six. Exquisite Blood market value $29.57. Trade in $21.94. Another 74% of the market value. Now, Exquisite Blood is one that I've owned for probably 4 or 5 years. One of the first little combo pieces that I ever really dipped into. I believe I traded for it when it was a relatively cheap card. But now the price is just at the point where if it hasn't been reprinted and they do reprint it, I'm going to really regret if I don't trade this card in. It's been sitting for a couple years. I'm not using it. And again, at basically market value right now at $30, if they reprint this card, it is going to drop considerably. So personally, I'm going to take advantage of the of right now while I can. Number 7 on our list for today is another one of my favorite pet cards, Training Grounds. I'm a huge Thrasios player. Um, when he was first when he first came out in Commander 16, I built so many different variations of that deck, which led into my super competitive TNT deck that could win on turn 0 back in the Flash days. So glad those days are over, by the way. So, Training Grounds from the printing Rise of the Eldrazi. That one was the market value right now is $37.31. Uh, the trade in I got out of that one was $27.14. So we're talking about 72% of the market value. When I originally bought that card, it was on TcgPlayer and it was only a $10.99 card. So the profit I'm looking off of that is like ridiculous. It's like $17 profit. I'm liking that. Training Grounds is an amazing card, but there's also creature versions of it. You got Biomancer's Familiar, 2-drop green and blue creature that literally does the exact same thing. So it also helps that I own 2 of these cards, and one of them currently hasn't been used for quite a while. So again, not selling out of the card necessarily, but I have an extra. It hasn't been used. Let's go ahead and put that into some store credit on TcgPlayer so I can get some cards. Number 8 on the list, coming in hot and strong, is Extract from Odyssey. Search target player's library for a card and exile it. Super mean card. Super fun card if you play against a bunch of combo decks because you can do stuff like, go pull out their Aetherflux Reservoir or something and just leave it in exile. Oh, you don't have a way to shotgun the table. Oh, I'm sorry. Not. Sorry, not sorry. So extracts from Odyssey. This one I love because originally when I bought this thing, I paid $1 for it. Right now, market value $9.86. Trade in offer $7. That's I paid $1 for it. I'm literally profiting about $6. It's awesome. Again, another card hasn't been printed a lot. I think this might be the only one. And if it does get reprinted, that is going to drop like a rock. So that's it. Just a quick little episode with me today. If you got any questions, feel free to email us. It's edhoutlaws@gmail.com. Hit the like, subscribe button. Yeah, that's it. Outlaws out.